today's talking point from your official guide to being a good Republican. Talking point number 317. Desperate times call for desperate measures to create desperate times. America's in a terrible crisis.
Right. How do you know?
Because we need America to be in a terrible crisis.
Okay, sure. Well, what are we going to do?
We invent a terrible crisis. Not because we want to, but because that's the only way out of this terrible crisis.
Right.
Take the situation in Michigan, for instance. Governor Rick Snyder pushed through a law that allows him to appoint his own emergency managers to replace elected local governments if their fiscal problems are bad enough.
Wow. Could things really get that bad?
The good news is, yes, because the same law allows the governor to reduce aid to any local government he chooses.
What? Well, that's a terrible situation.
Right you are. Sounds like they need an emergency manager.
Yeah.
We'll get right on that. America has faced huge problems in the past. We should have no trouble coming up with new ones for the future. And that's talking point number 317 from your official emergency guide to being a good, concerned emergency Republican.
Legislated dictatorship. Let's play hardball. If he doesn't open his show tonight like that, I don't know. I swear to God, this is the most amazing country I've ever seen in my life. I mean, in Michigan, thousands of people got to Lansing, to the Capitol last night to protest their governor, Rick Snyder's new, quote, financial martial law bill. You know, like I said, this would have been so much easier if we had gathered in large numbers before the election. Elections matter, they count, and now Republicans are busy in states all over America using the last elections to undermine the integrity of future elections. Oh, yes, Wisconsin and Michigan, they're using all their legislative means to establish for themselves dictatorial powers. Scott Walker is using the power of the state to crush his opponents, disband unions, fire everybody in sight. Michigan is unbelievable. Michigan has absolutely gone haywire. You know, this Snyder dude, he seemed like such a nerd, such a geek. Everybody thought, he's kind of harmless. You look at him. He looks so dull and useless. And this guy gets into office and suddenly wakes the F up and says, hey, I could be the dictator of Michigan. All I got to do is appoint myself some emergency managers and send them on into cities that I choose, that I pick unilaterally, and have them disband the entire city government, have them shut down entire school districts, have them privatize the education system, meaning we'll shut down public schools, we'll give parents vouchers that they can then use at private schools, which do absolutely no better and don't have standards and don't use union teachers. And it's causing a major revenue shortfall in Michigan because for every student that's enrolled, it's about $7,000 per pupil to educate them for a year. Woohoo, that's a lot of money. But they lose that money every time they send a kid out to a private charter school or some other private school. And so they create these crises, kind of like the Reichstag. Let's burn it down and then tell everybody we have a crisis and we need more power to keep you safe. More power, like the Enabling Act. Okay? I mean, everybody forgets that the Enabling Act in Germany was actually called the Law for Removing the Distress of the People. The Law for Removing the Distress of the People. Frank Luntz himself couldn't come up with a better one than that. And this one, this Emergency Managers Act, it's the same thing. They created a disaster, and in Germany's case, the burning of the Reichstag building, because, apparently it takes more to, become a dictator of an entire country than just, a financial emergency, which, they had in Germany. So he thought maybe he needed to burn something down. So he burned something down. And, give Michigan Governor Rick Snyder credit. He hasn't burned down any government buildings to get his way.